Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Winners. On the side, got your boy Block, and I ride with the G's. We gon' fly. Number 10 is back. About to catch that thing from Wentz like it's an attack. Air raid, what you want, boy, just getting paid. Now E Scott B-E-A-2-D. Let's go.
I like that. I'm with it, man. You like that?
I look forward to it.
I'm with it, man. Let's rock with it.
Yo, man, listen, welcome, fam. I know it's a little different change of pace. It's PSG ATD on a Saturday on the weekend. The sun's still out, you know,
Yes,
yesterday was beautiful. I wish I was on the golf course. I wasn't at work. But let's get right into it. As you saw on the new Vamp poll, as you see on IG Live, and let me take you right to the YouTube feed.
Okay.
Do we agree with the Eagles' free agency move so far? Do we love it? Do we hate it? It's a simple question. It's two choices, agree or disagree.
I love that.
I agree to a point.
Okay.
I'm kind of putting it in the piggy bank because I know we still
Why
need.
You putting it in the piggy bank?
We need.
I
love what we've done.
Agree or disagree?
Up until this point.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
But that can be changed if we don't get a running back. And I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I'll let you go, and then I'll explain why my thoughts are why they are.
Okay. So far, I actually, first of all, what's up, people, family? Good to see y'all out there. We're here on this beautiful day. PSG, A2D Live, A2D, rather, doing our thing. But listen, I agree with the situation with the Eagles, rather. I like, first of all, let's just talk about this. I like the Deshaun Jackson move. You're actually hitting on a point that we haven't had. If you really think about it, we haven't had a deep threat since he actually has left. So you're actually bringing back Deshaun Jackson. At this point, a lot of people are happy with it. There are some people that are skeptics, and they may not agree with it, but you got to think of this from a schematic point as far as a football move. This is a football move. You got a guy that's going to stretch the field. Yes, he might have missed 3 or 4 games last year, but if you can, here's what the Eagles are actually thinking at this point. If they can get a guy that can come in and play at least 12 games, okay? Listen, if he plays full 16, great. But if he can play at least 12 games, take the top off the defense, what he's going to do, because if he does that, which he's going to do, he's going to open up so many different layers of their offense. You got the 2 best tight ends in the league on one team, okay? And I'm saying that right now. And Ertz and Goddard underneath. Then you have Aguilar running in between doing his things from sideline to sideline and also in the slot. And then you still got Jeffrey as a possession wide receiver and making big catches. So Jackson coming over really just opens up so much. So this was purely a football move. And, yes, it's great to have him back because we love D-Jax. We love he embodies what Philly is. He understands the culture. He understands what it is to be a Philly player. So we do love him back. But this right here was a football move. I also like the Malik Jackson move. You know, you're bringing him in at a nice price. You lose Bennett, and then at first when you lose Bennett, he had 9 sacks last year. You're thinking, how are we going to replace him? Voila, a few days later you bring in –
voila.
You bring in – yeah, see, I'll change it up for you. You bring in Malik Jackson, which I love because – and listen, I didn't know this. He's 6'5", man. I didn't know he's that big. I thought he was about 6'2", 6'3". He's a big guy. And you pair him up with Fletcher Cox in that middle, man, there's going to be some problems over there. And so, I mean, the moves that they made, the L.J. Fort move, it's an excellent move. He's a great backup linebacker, excellent on special teams. So Howie right now is pushing the right buttons. Going forward, I think we're good. You said it yourself. You said the running back thing was, listen, people, just relax. We got some time. You know, the Ingram getting signed with Baltimore, $5 million. That's just too steep of a price for us. I think we need to go in the draft. And now, Jordan Howard's out there. And it keeps coming up.
Le'Veon
coming up.
Le'Veon going to them would have helped that trade.
It would have.
Yeah.
It would have. But, I mean, there's somebody you can bring in. I think offhand he's only making about less than $2 million next year. So that's a guy that you can trade for and have him for that year and see how he doesn't going forward. You bring him in along with getting a draft pick, and we'll see what happens.
All right, listen, for the YouTube chats out there, I see the fam is already in the room. Let us know if you agree or disagree with, as we said, with the poll question, the revamp poll question, do you love what the Eagles have done so far? I will say this.
Okay.
The reason I love the L.J. Fort signing.
Yes.
You kind of saw what he did in Game 17 against the Bengals. He got a chance to play. So because we all know we're paper thin. We're right. Like I said it on Birds of a Feather when I was on, when Chrome and Chucks had the honor for me to be on the show. They asked me to be there. I was there. And listen, Chrome, I told you the going rate for a slot wide receiver is $9 million. If you look at the highest paid receiver, the highest average annual value,
made $9 million with the Jets.
$9 million.
Yep.
Humphreys made $9 million.
Yep.
Beasley's kind of around $9 million. Tyrell Williams got the most money at $11 million. He got 4 years, 44, 22 guarantee. So Nelly's still here at $9 million, which you would have paid for anybody anyway. It doesn't matter. So speaking about the Deshaun, he does open it up for the tight ends, opens up for Nelson as well. But that's why we need to run it back as well. I will say this with the Malik Jackson signing, particularly just speaking of that signing. I love it. I love it for the value, $10 million guarantee. So pretty much it's 3 years, $3 million. We figure it out because they can stretch out the guarantee money.
Right.
The reason I love it though is the fact that he's humbled. He was humbled last year.
Yeah.
He was benched because his run defense was, let's just face it, it was ass last year.
Yeah, it was.
So you're getting him coming in, probably playing next to the best defensive tackle that he's had the chance to play next to, and he's hungry. He has something to prove. Hell, the man had on his high school varsity jacket because he was humbled so much, and he knows he's coming into a team that is different. When you were on Denver, you won a Super Bowl. You go to a team that hasn't. Listen, dog, we won a Super Bowl without you.
Yeah.
So now you know when you come here, you have to put it up.
Yes.
You got to put it on.
Yeah, and sometimes, as a player, as anything in life, any walk of life, when you go through adversity and you're at a point in your life, you're at that high point, and then you have that failure or you don't have that success, you get that aha moment. You get that moment you say, I need to do something differently. So I think him understanding that and him coming into the situation, and listen, he could have signed with the Rams. I mean, he's got familiarity with Wade Phillips over with the Rams. He's a DC while he was at Denver. They played together. He coached him rather. So I mean, he could have went to Denver. So the fact that he signed with us, he saw something in our defense. He saw something with playing with Cox on a regular basis, playing with Brandon Graham, playing with a healthy Derek Barnett, who's going to have a nice season, by the way. So
he better.
He is. Watch what I tell you.
He better.
Listen, let me say this to y'all, the family out there. There's a lot of defensive players on the Eagles right now that they're actually in a prove-it stage. Yeah. Darby, Sidney Jones, Derek Barnett. These are the guys next year that I know are going to excel, and you're going to see a difference in their play next year. So just be aware of that. Just don't be shocked if you see that going forward next year. But Jackson saw a lot of these potential, a lot of the attributes of the team, of the defense, and he said, I wanted to be a part of it.
Who?
Jackson.
Malik,
yes.
Malik saw the money, man, because it was down to us in Green Bay, and I think we outbid Green Bay by like $3 or $4 million.
That's shocking. You said that Green Bay spent a lot of money.
They did,
and
we said this in the chat as well. I said Green Bay generally doesn't dabble in free agency that much, but they have a new regime in there, and they know we got to get A-Rod, A-Rod,
yes, sir.
some type of help on defense, because he can't just put it all up on his own. Now. When you speak about Derek Barnett, and I'm glad we can segue to that. What I mean by he better, it's not the fact that I don't think he's not capable of doing it. It's just that the Eagles brass and ownership are putting a lot of faith in him now because of letting Bennett walk. Yeah. And now Malik Jackson, even though he'll put on when he's next to Fletcher Cox, we all know on third down they kick Brandon Graham inside next to Cox. And they're going to have the Barnett on the one end, and who knows what we have on the other. It could be Josh Sweat, it could be somebody else. Now, I'm not sure, and maybe we can get TA to chime in for the first time tonight because he is with us on the ones and twos. The Darby deal, I know it's 1 year, 8.75. What is the guarantees in that deal? What's the guarantee money? Has anyone seen that yet?
No, they haven't actually put it out as of yet. I mean, from what I understand, it's 1 year, $8 million, but they haven't put out the
8.75.
They haven't put the logistics of the deal. What is guaranteed? What is the incentives? I think, speaking of Darby, I'm glad you said that. I think bringing him back was the right move. We got Mills coming back. You got Jones coming back. There's a lot of uncertainties. You don't know how Mills is going to come back. You don't know how Jones is going to come back. So I think bringing him back was the right move. You still got Russell Jones. Now, listen, by the way, a lot of people have been saying this. We need another safety. We need that third safety. We have our third safety.
Who is it? Who? Go ahead and say it. I've been saying it for 2 years.
It's Rasul. And I watched the guy play live, and I know what he can do. He has great ball skills. And when you play in this type of defense that we have where you have to cover as a safety and you have to tackle, he fits all of the measurements. He fits all the measurements. So I think the fact that we're going to have him in training camp or as far as in the mini camp, and you can help him to understand the position, I think is a good deal going forward. So having Rasul Douglas rather, having McLeod come back.
You all over the names of these
rosters. We're in good shape, man.
You said Jones, Butler, now you.
TA, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, TA.
Listen, I don't see any facts about it, besides just the money of it. But to me, I don't care because it's 1 year deal. So I've heard a lot of this conversation, honestly. So, but it doesn't bother me if it's more if he gets all of it. If he doesn't play, he obviously doesn't get it. Okay. But if he doesn't play, he just gets whatever guaranteed. But to me, because it's only a 1 year deal, I don't care how much you're giving him from 1 year. Yeah. Because it's done. But I think Jake said it earlier. I agree. Mm-hmm. I was thinking it for a couple of days now. I think the money that's left over this offseason is going to go to Carson. They're going to try to get that started sooner than wait a year and try to get that money on your books right now. Yeah. Because next year they're cheaper. Next year they're in great cap space. Mm-hmm. You want to be in great cap space. I know how he wants to be there. So if you can get Carson on the books early now, next year's going to be a big year.
I'm thinking maybe like a 5 year, $125, $70 million guaranteed to Carson.
Do it now because if he comes out and throws 45, guess what? We're going to get over that for $200 million.
He's going more, yes.
So for me to speak about, let's talk about the players. Now, I do want to say this. I saw some people I saw one person in the A2D family. He's a little off his rocker, but he said he was going to chop his wood off because he felt so confident in getting Le'Veon Bell, was going to the Eagles. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is why I think it took Darby so long. And this worked with Darby. I don't think Darby was originally in the plan. I think he was in the plans for the Eagles. Okay. But they knew that if he had a market out there, that they had their number for him and they weren't going to go over that. Now, Le'Veon Bell and those for the Eagles fan base and the Eagles family that wanted him so bad, you know who you can blame for that? You can blame Anthony Barr's undecisive ass because that's essentially who it came down to.
Yeah, but honestly, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Were we really in the play for him?
But were we really in the play? But like I explained last week's show, that if he started to get out there and that market was softer than what he thought,
which it was.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Anthony Barr and C.J. Mosley, they were going to take almost $80 million in guaranteed money from the Jets. Okay. Remember, they had $100 million in cap space at that point in time. Le'Veon, the Jets can't offer him that. They can't offer him
because they haven't sold up with those two players. Right. I get that.
So at that point, Le'Veon then starts to think, well, man, I got Oakland out there whose number is close. Right. I got Eagles out there whose number is close. Indy, I don't ever think was really in it.
Indy wasn't in it, which really shocked me, by the way. That shocked me. That
I think it was really San Fran was kind of in it as well. So you had
there was talk.
You had 4 teams. Yeah. Now listen, San Fran, I think that they may have got for their system. Right. Remember, Tevin Coleman was in Shanahan's system in Atlanta. Right. So to get him for 2 years, $10 million. Now, if I'm the Eagles, I understand he tore his ACL last year. Right. Do you make an offer to a Jerick McKinnon? So parking lot we'll come back to that. Okay. So I want to talk about the players, not only that we acquired, but let's look at the players that we lost that did sign in new homes. Let's look at the Jordan Matthews to San Francisco. That's kind of insignificant.
Yeah, it is.
But let's look at the Jordan Hicks. Yeah. Going to Arizona 4 years, I think it was $30-some-odd million. $20 million guaranteed.
Right. Let's keep it real. He couldn't stay healthy. When he was on the field, which that wasn't a lot, he was great. He made a lot of plays for us. He was heady. He was great in our system, but the issue is being healthy, and the best thing is if you're not healthy, you can't play for us. So that's right. That signing, I understood that, and I understand get your money right while you can if you're Jordan Hicks, but I'm okay with that.
So that's talking about all the small fish that we lost. Those are the free agents that we lost in the kiddie pool. Right. Now Jordan Hicks is going to bring back.
Did this man say kiddie pool?
They're going to bring back a 4th round pick in the comp. But let's talk about the big dog that we lost. St. Nick going to Jacksonville, 4 years, $88 million, $51 million guaranteed. Right. Guaranteed 3rd round comp pick for us next year. Love it. And Howie's paying attention to that because that's one of the reasons why we heard that he traded for D-Jax instead of picking them up off getting the release. Yes. So Jacksonville's not the same team they were 2 years ago. They've let go both of their starting safeties.
Gibson's going.
Deshaun Gibson, Barry Church is going.
Yes, sir.
Malik Jackson's now in Philly. But bigger than that, who do we see that Nick Foles and Carson Wentz were using that security blanket? Their tight end. They don't have a tight end.
No, they don't. Well, listen, right now, coming into it, you would think Foles would have that already set up. Right. But unfortunately, he doesn't. Now, the good thing for him is there is some tight ends in this draft right now that's coming out that you can actually grab in the
Noah Fant.
first, second round. The two kids from – you just said one.
And Tyler Hockenson.
My man from two of them from Iowa, and then you have my man who I've been really high on.
Jr.
Is Irv Smith Jr. Now, watch out for that name. I'm going to keep
Alabama,
telling you. And I'm not just saying that because I know him. It's my people's. But I'm just telling you, this is a kid who's going to storm the league. I'm just telling you right now. So you have the guys like that. There's some other guys out there we haven't mentioned out there. So – and you never know. I mean, there's some cuts. There's some June 1st cuts that's going to happen. So there's some weapons that, they can add going forward. But going into it right now, they lost a lot of pieces. I mean, Wallace is going, of course. In fact, I hear he's going to L.A. for a visit.
It's possible going to L.A.
Right.
Hollywood Dave Rosca already said he said the Rams are getting
he's loving it.
Bortles and Matthews.
He's loving it.
He's in the YouTube chat. I don't know if he's in the Facebook as well. What do we have going on in the Facebook chat, family?
So we got some people. Shout out to, let's just read a couple. Brian Batty says, deep threat. Referring to Deshaun, deep threat that can take the top off the D, which you already said.
Yep.
And the D tackle was two of the biggest needs in the off seasons.
Yeah.
All right, with Malik Barnett and Graham, it makes it hard to double to Cox, which I definitely agree with that.
Oh yeah.
My man Johnny Bird says Jackson's lighting it up. He's gonna be lighting it up. Shout out to Jake. What's up, Jake? Been saying it for a while. Rasul is a safety. Yes, absolutely, I agree with that.
No, he doesn't have he just doesn't have the speed off the ball to go step for step. Closing when he can see it in front of him, his closing speed in his hands.
Right.
Those are his two best attributes.
But he makes up for the fact that he just has he has a nose for the ball. He can always find a nose. And listen, there's times when he was at Nassau, and again I watched him in Nassau, and looking back, I would never thought that Russell would be where he is right now, watching him back in the day. But he always had a nose for that ball. And as a safety in this defense, you need a guy like that.
Yeah, and then, listen, I will be hard-pressed to say now, Howie, first and foremost, kudos to you because you're a capologist. I don't know how you make it work. He made it work. We did a lot of moves with the little bit that we had coming into it. And now with the restructure of Chris Long,
yes.
And also we restructured –
guys, the name's
we created
some room.
We created
as long as somebody else.
So I think we have about 12 or 15 million in cap space. So like TA said, like Jake said on the show previous, the weekly roundup, they said that may be leading to a Carson extension. But let's not.
It makes sense. Just do it while you
can.
But
I will say this because we do stay in dime more. You have to now with how many receivers they have on the field and what packages the offense throw at you. There is a player still like Mark Barron out there that maybe you could get on a 1-year deal cheap. And this is the thing.
Makes sense.
The Eagles are starting to do this like the Patriots do, where they have their main core guys, and from year to year, they start picking these pieces and then moving on like, hey, thank you for your service, and keep it going. You're going to have your main core guys, and you go from there. Now, to speak about the Deshaun bringing back, I'm all for what Deshaun brings on the field, but I also wanted to see the number. So when you look at all the free agent signings, like I said, Tyrell Williams got the most 4 years, 44, 22 guaranteed for Oakland.
Right.
Adam Humphries, 4 years, 36 for Tennessee. I don't know what his guaranteed is. I think Cole Beasley got 4 years, 29, 17 guaranteed from Buffalo. Yeah. And then they also went out and signed John Brown as well, 3 years, $27 million. So if I sat here and told you that we all seen it in the Saints game in the divisional round, the Eagles had no wide receiver that could take the top off and take a secondary with them. So what you see with that, you automatically going to see the lighter box. Right. So that's going to create more space for your running back when we get them.
Yes.
It's also going to create more area underneath for your tight ends who, I mean, listen, I can't stress this enough. I love Zach Ertz. We know that. We know what he's done for us. I'm telling you right now, if this kid can stay healthy, Dallas Goedert is going to blow Zach Ertz out of the water because he's more physical. He's he's more explosive.
Got a little wiggle.
Got some wiggle to him.
Just enough.
He's more explosive. So when you can give him more favorable matchups, so with Deshaun, I just wanted to see that number. So if I told you out of all the free agent wide receiver signings that we get Deshaun Jackson back, and then we get it for 3 years, $27 million with 13 guaranteed.
Low risk, high reward. I mean, listen, like I said, low risk, high reward.
You can't get better than that.
And again, I'm going to say it again. I said a little earlier. This was a schematic move. This was a football move, and people have to understand that. We haven't. What's the last deep threat we had?
Since he left.
Thank you. So you bring him back, and again, if Doug and the offensive staff do the things they need to do as far as putting these guys in the right position, you have the two best tight ends in the league. I'm going to say it. Okay. Yes, you might say Kittle, you might say Kelsey.
The group, yes.
As far as a group, you have the best tight end tandem in the league. Period. Bar none. If you use them properly, along with having Deshaun taking off the top, along with Jeffrey doing his thing with, possession and different things he does. And then you have that running back, okay, whoever it may be, coming out of the backfield with a little wiggle. You have to pick your poison going forward. That's what it is. So we're in a good spot.
So now you just spoke about our tight ends, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll go to TA first with this. Now with Deshaun Jackson back, Nelson Aguilar is your 3. Alshon Jeffrey and Jackson is like your 1A and 1B.
Yeah, but with this offense, there's really no ones.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no ones. No ones.
But when you look at it, TA, where do we rank as far as division and then conference? With just when you put tight ends and wide receivers together as a skill group, where do you think we rank? Are we top 5? Are we top 3? Are we
Get out of my head. Top? Get out of my head first. Okay? I literally just wrote something in the Facebook as A2D, and it's even further than that. But I said best offense in the NFC right now, and that's without a run game.
Yeah,
that's without a run game.
I agree.
Because I agree with you from this standpoint. When you add coaching into that and game planning, yes.
And I'm putting a lot in 11. Remember this too.
Yeah.
I'm expecting
thank you.
Now you got a top over defense guy that can go get a football, can track a ball in the air. That creates Nelson getting 9 catches in the Super Bowl. That creates Alshon getting one-on-ones. Now he looks like he can stretch a field now because he's getting the one-on-ones to be able to stretch a field. Yeah. And now you have the best tight end combo in football.
Let me say this.
From what it looks like.
Yeah.
And you have no running back.
Right. So let me say this. I know this is – what is the song? Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? Yeah. I get all that. But we have a short memory. Do we understand what Carson Wentz was a year and a half ago?
Yes. And why was he like that?
Do we understand that he has now he's going to actually train now? Last year he didn't train. He rehabbed. Right. He couldn't train. He couldn't have the boys come out to North Dakota.
And Nick Foles was still here.
You know what I mean? Thank you. But he couldn't have the guys come out to North Dakota have the little week they have, the little weekend they have with the guys.
Elk hunting.
You know what I mean? All that good kind of stuff. Hunting, deer meat, the whole 9 yards. Couldn't do all that. Now we can do that. Right. Now we can get ready for the mini camp. Now he can put guys we need to put them. Now we can get that combination, those route combinations that they can say, okay, you know what, you run this here, you run this here. And all that, establishing all that goes forward. And then the fact that he's a surgeon. You guys don't listen, family. When the guy's healthy, and I understand people might say, when is that? But when he's healthy, did you watch some of the games? Look at that Denver game. Do you see how he's picked apart?
Yeah.
Those defenses.
And the play calling.
The play calling
matched up.
He was like a surgeon out there, man.
And everybody thinking dunk talk last year, right?
Yeah.
Right? You got nobody that can take a top off.
Who
are you going deep to? Who are you going deep to?
Thank you.
I love Golden, but you went out and got a guy that's the same guys everybody on your roster.
And even if he gives you, we understand that Sean's not 23 no more, 25 no more. But he's still one of the top fastest wide receivers in the league. So take the top off.
Coming out, he ran 4.33. So if you say he lost a step, now he's what?
4.5. 4.4.
Nah, not even.
I say 4.4.
Who, Deshaun?
Yeah,
Deshaun says he's the fastest guy in the NFL.
No, still. But I'm saying, I hear people say.
He said it today or yesterday.
Yeah, well, he still works with the track coach.
Yep.
I forget the guy's name.
I hear people say all the time that he's 32 now, he's older. Listen, if he lost a step, even a half a step,
still faster.
You're going from 4.33 to 4.39, 4.43. It's still fast.
Still fast.
And listen, this is the best thing about you football fast.
Yeah.
And now listen, no disrespect to Torrey Smith. No disrespect to Ted Ginn. No disrespect to Brashard Perryman. No disrespect to John Ross. Right. There's something to be said when you had that speed and you have it with pads on, but then listen, one of the best deep ball trackers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
One of the best deep ball trackers I've ever seen.
Ever.
So when you get that and you pair it with Wentz, that's good. But this leads me into
but you're pairing it. Yes, Pete, great point. You're pairing it with the tandem. That tandem that they have, and you're pairing it with Jeffrey. And don't forget about Nelly. Now, we didn't use Nelly properly last year like we did before. Nelly's going to be your X factor because Nelly does everything for you. You can get him in space. He can go deep. So you put Jackson with all those different – now, I'm telling you, you got to pick your poison.
Now, listen. You know who Nelson Aguilar reminds me of when he gets the ball in his hands and how many different ways you can create matchups for him.
Okay.
And I don't want the fam to go crazy.
Okay.
But he reminds me a lot of AB because you can get him the ball in different spaces and he can create after contact, and his feet are so fast. But like you said last year, we didn't really use him like that. And then we brought Golden Tate in. And listen, hats off to Golden Tate. Get your paper from the Giants. We'll speak about the Giants later towards the end of today's show. But I want to segue into this.
Okay.
You guys let me know, and the fam, let me know what you think in the YouTube chat and also IG as well, Twitter, Facebook Live as well. Let us know in the chat if you agree with what I'm about to say.
Okay.
We all know historically Howie Roseman doesn't draft well at two positions.
Running back.
He can't evaluate running back and linebacker.
Absolutely.
And I kind of said this on Birds of a Feather. So this is my thing, right? Josh Jacobs, 1 year start out of Alabama, a lot of tread on his tires, physical runner, can catch the ball at the backfield. This is my thing. This is where I'm going with it. Now, everywhere I see, he's in the top 10 of overall players. Yeah. But because of his position, there's a chance that he may be there at 25. And I hear people say, don't take a running back at 25. Don't take one in the first round. This is my thing. If in any walk of life, if you know that you are not good at evaluating talent in one particular area, correct?
Yes.
But so now you have an opportunity to take what you do bad out of the equation, because what you're looking at, like, you can't pick a good steak. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But then now you have access to Kobe beef, which is a
delicacy.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, it's a delicacy.
So that takes all the pressure off you, because
Once in a lifetime.
Right. You're picking top end talent. It's the same thing if somehow Devin White or Devin Bush falls to 25.
Never know.
The same thing with the linebacker position.
Sir.
Take your evaluation skills or your weakness out of it, because you know what they do well?
Can't miss guys.
They draft offensive linemen well, and they draft defensive linemen well, and they can find value in those later rounds. So rely on your strengths and bet against your weaknesses.
Right.
Don't put yourself in a position like we did 2 years ago when all these running backs is going, like a Marlon Mack is going, Aaron Jones is going.
Yeah.
Or even a Kareem Hunt is going. Weems. Don't put yourself in a position now where nothing's left. You got to rely on trading up for Donnell Pumphrey, who's not even on the team 2 years later.
So with that being said, the hope is, all signs point to him not being there. But like you said, and I agree with this, if he is there, he's a once-in-a-lifetime player. I just feel
I don't know if he's once in a lifetime. I'm just saying
he could be a once-in-a-lifetime player, because he checks all the boxes. He's great in space. He's good between the tackles. He can he runs great routes. He's
good
great pass protection.
Yep.
So he does. He checks all the blocks. So he could be that guy that could be a once-in-a-lifetime player.
Right.
Will he be there? We don't know. It doesn't look good. It ain't looking like it. But meanwhile, where do you go? Now, we know we need to address some things. We know we need to address some defensive tackles, defensive ends, and we know we need to address the line, because the line is getting a little older and a little long in the tooth. He brought back Peters, the bodyguard, back at a lower rate, 5.5, which I think was great. He was good with it. He wants to give you another year, so good. And Mulata, from what we understand, Mulata may be ready by September. If he's ready to back up Peters, excellent. But you got to get younger. The Brooks situation, you don't know how Brooks is going to come out going back from that Achilles.
Right.
He may be back mid-season. But the great thing about the situation is, and even if Jacobs is not there, which I don't think he will be, the cream of the crop is the defensive tackles, is the defensive ends. This is the year to do it.
Right.
And this is what the Giants are going to do. This is what some of the teams that have needs are going to do. They're going to load up. Now, Howie's got to decide, listen, do I stay at 25, or do I drop down and get more value? Okay? If that can't miss player is there, if Christian Wilkins is there, which I don't think he is, but somebody like a Christian Wilkins could be there, then you take that player. So Howie's got to decide whether, look, did I drop down my value because the guy's not there that I really want, or is the best player on the board? So if the best player's on the board, then I take that best player on the board, period.
So put it like this. I go a different way with you. Kind of saying what you're saying as well, but a different way. You're saying trading back. What if we get to 16, 17, 18?
So you're saying trading up,
and you see a Christian Wilkins,
what are you giving up?
Or you see a Dexter Lawrence.
What are you giving up though?
You got a 2. You got to piece something together. Or do you see a draft day trade for a player? You never know what you're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
Now the biggest thing I like about these regimes and these GMs now, these younger GMs, they're starting to open it up a little bit. They're starting to realize what they want, and they're not scared to be antiquated and stay in that same frame. Mm-hmm. Okay, we don't do this because this is the type of team we are. They're starting to shy away from that.
Right.
But so let's say Devin White falls to 17.
Listen, if Devin White falls to 17, if you have the opportunity, you have the picks, you have the assets, what they do going forward. Okay, they got the comp picks coming up. So yes, you would trade up. That's the player you got to get.
Right.
Because you know that's a need for you right now.
Now, and the biggest thing I'm saying about with the defensive line, and don't you can never have enough defensive linemen, and it's deep, but there's also a deep draft for it as well. That's why. So the top end talent pool is a little bit bigger than what we see at linebacker and running back.
That's true. Now linebacker, they're going to address that honestly, and I'm just keeping it real. If they don't address the linebacker I would say the third or fourth round, somewhere in that, because usually you figure a lot of the linebackers that we do get in the past. I think Hicks was later, right? Yeah. Hicks was the second,
Hicks
third
was
round?
the third round.
Third round, yeah. So a lot of guys that we have in the past, we actually drafted, have been in the lower round. So
right.
I think going forward, I think we do draft a linebacker in the third or fourth round, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I think we get Brandon Marshall, the free agent.
Okay.
I see.
Now I do think with one of the second round picks that they take a second round, if they go defensive lineman in the first round, okay, maybe, hopefully, maybe a Brian Burns from Florida State falls to them. Which is I have him as my second overrated pass rusher behind Nick Bosa because his polish, and he's very fundamentally sound and he's a polished pass rusher.
Yes.
So I don't want any parts of Ja'Kai Polite at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Not at 25.
You think it's because of the scheme? You don't think he fits
not
the
so
scheme?
much the scheme, but just the player from what I've heard.
Okay.
As far as not seeing, he doesn't want to build on his bad tape. He can't take constructive criticism, and Jim Schwartz ain't gonna have that. You know what I mean? So, but if they do go defensive lineman, say they go Cleveland Farrell, also from Clemson's as well, because Clemson can have Wilkins, Lawrence, and Farrell all come off the board in the first round.
They're loaded, man.
So
they're loaded, bro.
But if we get to that point, I can see them going in the second round, running back safety or safety running back. Juan Thornhill out of Virginia, love him, hard hitter, closer, safety.
Absolutely.
And then maybe already seen in the chat. Cassius Cliff said it in YouTube. The boy from Memphis, home run hitter, Henderson. Yeah. Now you talk about somebody that can go 0 to 60.
Yeah.
If you want that home run hitter,
yes, sir.
That's him.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's so many moves how we can make it in this draft. There's so many possibilities. I mean, the draft is loaded, man. The draft is definitely loaded. I mean, it's very, very, very interesting to see how. And I like you commented a little bit earlier about it, how the GMs and how they reserved and how they mix. It's like a chess game to a lot of these GMs. And they're actually seeing what pieces to put in certain places. So I like the fact that Howie and them, with the free agency, they're bringing in the right guys, but then they're thinking the draft board. They're thinking guys that we really want. What's the guys that we really want to target? And then if the guys are not there, then they're going to make some different moves. So I like the fact that we have the assets and Howie and them going forward.
Right now, I see Brian Petit in the Facebook chat. He did say, look, man, he thinks that they're going to make a move and running back before the draft. I mean, it's really not – I don't know
Jordan Howard, man, I'm telling you, they could trade for him.
But then also you got to – I mean, if they wanted to do something with stability-wise and get a powerful runner between the tackles just to have a veteran presence, the Jets did release Isaiah Crowell.
I did see that, yeah.
You have him as well. I mean, there's Mike Davis got signed by Cleveland as well. I mean, Cleveland seems to have a surplus of running backs.
Yeah, well, your buddy's not coming back for 8 games, as we know.
I would listen, hand the guy. I would trade for him. I still would. I would give him something because then that takes the pressure off of Cleveland.
Off of Hunt? For who, Hunt?
Yes.
No, they're not getting him.
No, I mean, I understand that, but I'm saying, but this is why it goes back to my point of, okay, if they would have signed him in the offseason, 8-game suspension, you bring in Corral, you have him the 8 games, and then you can still take a Bryce Love in the 5th round and then have him sit.
Yeah, that burns me up, man, why they didn't even look at – I don't know. And again, we don't know if they made a phone call to Hunt, but, I mean, that opportunity to get a running back, that's just – he's a stud, man.
Right.
He's a stud. And in Cleveland, I mean, man, I don't know if we want to segue into that, but Cleveland, man, I tell you what, John Dorsey, I don't know if you guys know this family, but I've been a big John Dorsey fan for the last 3 to 5 years.
Everybody.
No. You got to admit, I've been on John Dorsey. I've been screaming John Dorsey when he was in KC, and I said this man is the real deal.
Right.
He came out of Green Bay, and he's chewing the gum. He's doing his thing. And, I mean, just some of the pieces, some of the trades that he's doing, man, it's just magnificent. It's just magic.
What?
It's magic. It's magic, bro. It's magic.
Did you say I think you tried to say magic and magnificent all in the same sentence.
It's all connected together, man. It's just magic.
Now, but listen, man, I mean, I love what Cleveland – in order for Cleveland to do what they did – the Giants had to make a decision.
Magnificent, excuse me.
Was it I definitely don't think it was for that trade, for the 2 trades that took place, Kevin Zeitler for Olivier Vernon and then the Odell Beckham trade. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch Birds of Feather. It broke right before we were about to go on.
Okay.
And when T.A. said it, he was like, the Cleveland just traded for Odell Beckham. He said it like that.
Yeah, because
you just couldn't believe
when
it.
When it happened, and the funny thing is I caught it later. I don't know where I was, and I heard somebody saying like, "Yo, they just traded Odell." I said, "What do you mean they just traded Odell?" It's like the Cleveland Browns just got Odell Beckham. I said, "Wow," and I thought to myself at first, and listen, there's a lot of Giants fans. I'm just putting out an APB out for a lot of Giants fans. I had to find a couple of them at the bridge. Because a lot of them, I found about a couple, like 5. They was at the bed about to jump. I had to say, no, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. But my point is this. I mean, looking at, and I understand, listen, he's a guy that you had last year. He's your best wide receiver, blah, 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 blah. But you only won 5 games with him. You know, and you're at the point of no return where this is it. You got to rebuild, man. So this was actually an actual move, a business move. And I think at the point where, you know, Odell just kind of wore out his welcome. You know, he wore out his welcome. And I think honestly, Gettleman was at the point where he felt, now, he should have made the move last year. I think he waited. I think he should have made the move last year. But I just think at this point, you got a first for him, right. You got a third for him, and you got a safety in Jabril Peppers that's going to be really, really good. People forget that. Right. So, I mean, honestly, I think it was a steal for both.
Well, you think Peppers is going to be really good?
I think it's going to be good.
Did you not – you got to go back and watch –
I think it's going to be good.
You got to watch Cleveland's tape. Mm-hmm. When it comes to coverage, they took his ass off the field.
Maybe maybe so. But I think in a different system, I think in what's his name? Beecher's system from Arizona. Yeah. In his system, I think he'll excel.
So, listen, I agree with you to a point.
Okay.
I don't think he wore out his welcome. And I think this goes back.
You don't think he wore out his welcome?
No, listen, let me explain. Let me explain. I don't think he wore out his welcome because ultimately they made a decision to pay that man. This is what happened.
True.
This is what happened. They didn't try to tank last year and thought they thought Eli had something left in the tank. I'll go back and I'll say it until the day I die. The worst decision the Giants made and why they were forced to save face and trade Beckham is because the fact they took Saquon at 2 last year.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Saquon at 2, you give me Sam Darnold, you give me anybody else but Eli in that system with your boy Gallman and another running back by committee, I bet you they win more games last year than what they did with the current roster they had. And let me further explain. Let me further explain.
Okay.
I don't think they did it because he wore out his welcome for this reason. Anytime when you realize you made a mistake and you know that you have to kind of save face, you got to double back. The most valuable asset that you have has to go on the market.
I understand that part.
Odell was the most valuable asset they had. Even Saquon wouldn't netted them the return that Odell did because shelf lives of running backs aren't as long.
Right.
And they know they couldn't get that shit for Eli.
It was the best. I agree. It was the best value at the time. But let me go back to the wearing out the welcome.
Okay.
Listen, when you give a man that money, right, which they did, they gave him big money, right? He didn't change, Pete.
What did he do?
Dog, he on the sideline pounding like a little girl. Stop.
Did he do anything? Did he do anything worse than AB did?
Listen, now AB's a different story.
No, it's not a different story. But you're trying to when you say these things, you put him in the same light.
AB's on a he's on a big level. Odell's behind him right there, bro. I'm telling you. Listen to New York radio. I mean, there's reports of him doing stuff behind the scenes, man. I mean, listen, the bottom line is they gave him the money. He still was acting the same way he was, pounding on the sidelines, hiring at coaches, doing his thing. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Like,
if Eli's your quarterback, I'll be pouting too. That's my biggest problem.
So you're okay with him doing what he's doing?
As
somebody just got money.
My biggest problem is the fact that
I get that part. I get that part about Eli.
You're giving Gettleman way too much credit.
No.
He did the same shit in Carolina.
I'm looking at it from a business standpoint, and I'm looking from an asset standpoint where, yes, you need assets right now. Okay, yes, your quarterback. Okay, in my opinion, they should have gave him Eli last year. I understand that. I agree with that. But they love Eli. For whatever reason, they want to stick with him.
Okay.
It is what it is. But what my point is.
So you can't say he wore out his welcome because of the decisions that they made.
Listen. Go back. Read. I'm telling you. The man was wrong. He was a cancer.
How can you?
Okay, let me say this. Was he a cancer? Yes or no?
I don't think so. Because how can you?
He's a cancer, bro.
You putting too much on him when they enabled him to be there because they paid him.
Okay.
They also
enabled him.
They enabled him to be there because they didn't move on from Eli. So when you know that, you got to accept that.
Yeah, but Pete, when somebody gives you a load of cash, bro, you got to change up. You got to straighten up and fly right, man. You can't act the same way.
What does any of that have to do with the fact that they still don't have a quarterback?
My point was he wore out his welcome. And it was a bit – I understand the quarterback situation, but him going on the sideline acting like a fool.
When did he do that this year?
He's done it, man. Come on, bro.
I'm talking about this year.
He did this year. A couple games he did. He's yelling at coordinators and stuff. Come on, man. This ain't nothing new. He's been doing it the whole time. And it's got worse. Now, hopefully, going forward – Going with his best friend, BFF butt buddy, Landry, he'll be all right. It's a new system. You know, he got his position coach from LSU there, who's a wide receiver coach. So hopefully going forward. And listen, I like Odell, But he's got to grow up. Let's just keep it real.
Bro,
he's got to grow up.
I can't even believe you coming at that. I don't see that.
That's fine. You don't see it, but it's real. It's dog. All you do is read. Do your research. It's there. It's there. It's proven. He was a cancer in the locker room, man. Come on, man. How can't you see that?
Okay, if he was a cancer in the locker room, why do you hear no? I think that whole locker room gonna be. I think you completely misreading the situation.
No, I'm not. And listen, thank you, Ralphie D. Odell had to go. IMO. Okay?
I think you completely misread.
Ralphie D.
You never heard any.
Come on, TA. I'm tagging you, man. I'm
gonna let TA go in.
TA, I'm tagging you, bro.
I agree.
Well, you agree with me, right?
I agree with both to a point, right? But the Giants made a mistake thinking they could win last year. Okay, with Eli. Because any beat reporter, we had a beat reporter on Wednesday night with us, and he didn't want to say it, but he said it in so many words that they weren't throwing. The ball wasn't coming out with anything anymore. Make sense? All he could do was think and dunk. It wasn't coming out anymore.
I agree with that.
Situation. I agree with that. So he made a mistake there to start it off, right?
One.
They should have cut ties with Eli this year.
Right.
2, I agree with their decision to part ways with Odell.
Yes.
I agree with it.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes offers come along where you're like, we might never get this again.
Right.
And listen, Charles tried to say it on Tuesday. I completely disagree when he tried to blame it on the New York media. Listen, when you want the coverage, you're going to get the coverage. I don't care if you play in Alabama.
Yeah.
Makes sense? In the NFL, when there's no team there.
Yeah.
You're going to get the coverage you want and are asking for.
You're going to get the attention that you seek.
And that's all he does. So he's a me guy to perception. Now, in the locker room, anybody can come out and say that he's a great locker room guy. That might be the case.
Yeah.
But if people don't think that it doesn't get tiresome, the on-field antics.
But for who? For who?
For the whole organization.
For everybody.
Dog, I mean, it's everywhere.
I'm just saying,
you must be Stevie Wonder. You blind.
No.
It was there, bro.
What I'm saying to you, I don't think there's not been one teammate that came out and said anything ill against him. So when you say tiresome, it's tiresome to the people who make the decisions.
Well, they paying your checks, right?
But ultimately, my biggest thing.
I'm not saying it's all like I said.
Right.
Like got people in the locker room seem to want to play with the guy,
right?
Love the guy. So that's why I said I agree with both of you.
And
but
Sterling Shepard, he was going to get paid because Sterling Shepard ain't going to get as many looks now because Odell Beckham was drawing the number 1. He was drawing the number 2.
Look, the Giants still trying to semi-compete this year.
I say, which is false.
But listen, they went to go get Tate. You know why?
Yeah.
Because we talk about he's a turf monster. His James Harden step back don't
sir.
work on grass. It'll work on the turf up in the Meadowlands.
Yes, it will.
And that fits right to that little Sheila.
And he's a locker room guy.
Yep, and that fits right to Sheila, where the little dump passes, short pass, it fits right into his game. Not that Odell didn't.
Right.
And I don't know what direction they're going up
No,
now.
we don't.
That's on them.
And that's what I'm saying.
But the value, all I'm saying is the value I get. I get you saying, we're in a rebuild mode this year. We can go get 2 firsts in the top 20.
Right.
Like, it's a no-brainer for us to take this deal, get the money off our books of it, and for us as an organization to say, we're going to go in a different way.
Right.
Because maybe they felt like they're going to be so bad this year, my last point, right? That they were going to be so bad this year, if they kept him, it was going to be a problem.
Right.
And they were going to win. They were going to win 5 games.
Exactly.
And then he's going to get even more mad.
Yes.
And when you're trying to because you're trying to have a go-away party right now for your franchise quarterback.
Right.
As much as we know he can't play no more.
Right.
And that go-away party already happened.
And I would. If I was him and it happened that way this year, I'd be pissed.
Yep.
Now, I will say this.
Okay.
When we look at it like that, with Odell.
It could be the voice of reason.
Never.
Voice of, but I don't see what I don't see him being that bad as he was saying because any wide receiver at that point is a diva. But now I will say this though.
Okay.
Even with the value that they got, this I'm gonna say. This is my first coach. I think this is the longest time I've ever went out cussing. Gettleman still fucked up because if you came out publicly and said you was trading him, I bet money they could have got 2 1s.
I mean, a lot of people actually said that.
Because he was under contract too. His contract is friendly.
A lot of people said that they should have got a little more. But listen, you got to strike the iron when it's hot. If you have an opportunity to, at that time, if somebody's on the phone with you saying, look, if Dorsey's chewing the gum, he's saying, look, I'm going to give you 1 and 3, blah, blah, blah. You got to take it, man. You got to take it. Because, you don't take it. He finds out you trade him. He's going to storm the office doing his thing. Come on, man. The bottom line is at the end of the day, it was time to move on both sides. Now, Gettleman made some – listen, I agree with you. Gettleman made some bad moves.
And they didn't do himself no favors either.
The Eli thing, he should have been gone, period. We all know this.
He should have been cut today because today he was doing roster bonus today.
Shouldn't have gave it to him.
They should have released him.
But you know what that is, though, right? That's an attaboy. We appreciate you giving us two championship rings. We appreciate you for your service.
It's what
that's what it is.
It's what Eagles fans wanted to do with Nick Foles.
Exactly.
True.
We appreciate what you did for us. Eli, you know what? Right off the sunset, we'll give you one more year. Throw you some money.
And the reason why we wanted to give $50 million guaranteed to Nick Foles because we wanted him to ride off in our sunset.
Exactly.
And not to cut you off, the reason why I say it's different between Nick Foles and Eli is because Nick Foles put up fucking 41 points.
Oh, no doubt.
Hold
up. No doubt.
Now, listen, Eli, those defenses won him those Super Bowl championships.
No doubt. But you said it yourself. You said we should trade Nick Foles last year for that Browns pick, right?
Fuck yeah.
But we kept him because of what?
Because some bullshit.
Okay.
And I still call bullshit for
Okay.
Now, listen, I'm going to tell you what. You know what I'll say? Somebody so sweet and so humble that this whole shit could turn into a monster.
Who's that?
Because they about to run him into the fucking ground.
Who's that?
You watch
Saquon?
Watch Saquon come out. Watch. Now you gonna see me because he about to get 800 touches in the next 2 years.
Amen. The box. Them knees gonna be chipped
He
up.
ain't gonna be shit after this rookie contract.
Listen, I would say not this year, not the next year, but that third year going in, them knees gonna be chipped up.
Let me ask you guys a question for all the running back crazy Eagles fans.
Yes, sir.
You got we'll start right in New York. Right? You got two bell cows in New York. Neither football team's any good. Right. The Jets are better. It's not any good because Sam Darnold's not any good. Okay, so he's a guy to me until he proves otherwise to be something else. Okay. He's just a guy.
Right.
So because Pac-12's soft, so anything that comes out of it.
I agree with that.
So you got two bell cows. Not that good football teams.
No.
Okay, so I mean, we were talking about on the show earlier. Just to go back to that for a sec, just everybody needs to relax on the running back. We're gonna get one in the draft at some point. Okay, not saying it's gonna be the right one.
Right.
Okay, and then
that's why I said
and
you
somebody's
pick,
gonna get
pick
cut
for the cream of the top.
Yep.
Pick for the cream of the top. Don't wait till the third or fourth, fifth round to get a running back. You can't evaluate them well anyway. So pick from the top end of talent pool to limit your chances of your mistakes.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, if the boys I'm gonna say this: if Singletary's there at 25,
Devin Singletary. Yeah.
I take Singletary.
I would
take him.
I take Singletary and I double down with, like if they double down with two, that's fine. But listen, when you talking about if Gettleman wanted to give fucking players away for value, bitch, we right down I-95. To get you mean to tell me if Gettleman picked up the phone and they made Odell Beckham made him available publicly, you think Howie wouldn't have picked up the phone?
Oh, there would have been some conversations there. Howie would have gandered and said, "Look, what you want to give me? This is what I can do for you."
Because we had the locker room to handle that shit. Yeah. Now you couldn't have did the Deshaun shit.
Nah.
And ain't no way those two could have coexisted.
Yeah, but we weren't going to give him that much. I mean, the first, the third, and then the safety. Nah, we weren't doing all that. I mean,
for one, we
don't
have a young safety to give him.
It probably would have been different. Well, my point is, it would have been a little different. But I just think at this point, it was for both sides. It was time to turn the page, and that was the best fit for him. Gettleman saw the opportunity to do it, and he jumped on it.
Right, and I love it. We got to get it. We're fucking getting a Mayfield jersey and a Murray jersey when he gets drafted by Arizona. They're both going up, but we need to get a Mayfield jersey here because the bitch may win MVP next year.
Listen, he's gonna be a problem, but I'm not gonna say that.
Man, listen,
he's gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a problem, but I'm not gonna say that. I mean, listen, man, they're gonna be the most used team on Madden next year. Everyone's saying
the Browns?
Yeah,
they probably already are now.
They're gonna be the most used team on Madden next year.
Oh yeah, you should see just from the trade Tuesday.
Oh, paper?
Yeah, trade Tuesday when it broke. I think their odds to win the Super Bowl before the Odell Beckham trade were like 60-1.
Yeah, it was 80-1. Now it's 40-1.
Now it's 40. Yeah. Like it went up. You see, so it's like when you see that, and I want to kudos to the Giants because all this bullshit, indecisive, or whatever you want to call Odell or cancer, whatever. Thank you to the Giants for pretty much handing over your season in 2 wins to the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you kindly.
Redskins,
Washington, you did the same shit.
Thank you.
Dallas, y'all fucked. I don't know what.
Yo, that situation, that cap situation, that's
cap hell. I don't know what y'all gonna do.
Yo, that's cap
because
hell.
They're gonna try to pay Cooper. Yep. They're gonna try to pay Zeke, and they're gonna try to pay Dak.
Yep. And don't forget Lawrence.
Yep. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how y'all gonna make it work.
And don't forget Byron Jones coming up too.
I'll gladly take Byron Jones off the hand.
I'll take him right now.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
So. Just transition to the hardwood.
Yes, sir.
If you didn't know, you saw it last night. A2D. The guys went to the game. We were supposed to go. Things came up. We saw the Sixers win. I texted Tom and said, "Hey, man, they trying to get this fucking game away." Excuse me. Voice is a little dry because we kind of went at it there with the Giants situation. But hey,
you got a little hype.
I'm still hyped because I still don't see it. And you know, I'm not.
Hey, listen.
I'm not an apologist for Odell.
You're not.
I called him Odell when he was coming about the water with the bubbles with DRC.
It's bad for It's bad for a fan base because the fan base is going to be up in arms about it, and I get it.
And I get that part.
That's why I get both sides.
And listen, And sometimes as a GM, you're going to make decisions that's not popular.
Right.
And this wasn't a popular situation.
That was a bad track record, too.
Yeah.
Horrible. He shouldn't even had a job in the first place.
That's a Howie move.
93%. 93%. If you took a poll, 93% of that fan base was hot. They were upset. That 7% looked at it and said this was a football. This was a move. This is a move that they had to make eventually because, listen, they won 5 games last year? Right? They're going to win 5 games again. So why keep it when you get the value right then and there?
No, but see, listen.
Get the value, man.
I want you to not just listen. Hear what I'm saying.
Listen, Linda, listen.
Remember when Wesley Snipes was talking? Remember when Wesley Snipes was talking to Willie Harrelson and White Man Can't Jump when they was in the car?
Okay.
It says you can listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear Jimmy.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
I want you to hear me what I'm saying.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Everything you just said, they had to make the move eventually because they didn't fucking take a quarterback at number 2.
But I agree with you.
I agree with you. Okay, so you can't blame Odell ultimately for their mistake.
Did I say Ghetto made some bad decisions? Yes.
But you said
that's part of it.
But you said he was a cancer.
He was.
But he was a cancer. Why? Because he had a fucking noodle whipped deer in the headlights
he
throwing in the ball.
Was a cancer before that, man. Fighting with folk on the field.
Who? The net.
The Norman thing, the net thing. Come on, man. Like, he's bad. He was cancer.
Oh, my
he
goodness.
was cancerous. You could go online and see it. Read up on it. It's there. They all said it.
But who said that? That's the
It's
media.
reported.
We in the media. You can't can't say the media don't drive the narrative. Don't drive the narrative.
Of course, the player's not going to come out. You don't know what's being said behind the closed doors, man. You don't know when they meet with the players what they're saying about them. You don't know that. You don't. Listen, obviously they felt that way. Obviously there's been some talk. Okay, and this is not the first time. Not the first time. It's well documented, bro. Just because you got Stevie Wonder glasses on, don't see it.
No, I'm not saying that. But when you say cancerous to me, I'm looking at AB and I'm looking at Le'Veon.
But see, that's a different type of cancer, man.
But that's my perception of cancerous. Because listen,
I get it though.
When you have AB who has a quarterback, and I don't like. I mean, Big Ben he's okay.
Or as TA say, he's a crumb.
But I'm saying Big Ben is at least getting the ball to AB. He got 600 catches in 6 years.
I get what you're saying
and
about
he
the
still complain.
Listen, I get what you're saying about the noodle arm.
So
I get all that. I get all that. But as a professional, if you're a professional, bro, you got to suck it up and play ball. So when Tim Brown played with some of the bums, okay, let's give you a perfect example. When Tim Brown has some bums, he had some bums thrown to him.
Yeah.
All right? Bums. Before Gannon, before some of the other guys. He had bums, okay? Right. Did he complain?
Listen.
Did Jerry Rice complain?
What I'm about to say is going to make people fucking angry.
Go ahead. I'm going to say real quick.
It's going to make people angry. I don't know about Jerry Rice, but listen, I love Tim Brown. He's a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Tim Brown was nowhere near fucking as good as Odell Beckham when it comes to raw athletic talent.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay, then. So you can't give me that.
But my point is about
Odell knows how good he is.
But hear me. Listen to me. Listen, Linda.
Okay.
It's about professionalism. Okay. And when you're afforded money, this is business, economics. Okay, I'm gonna teach you. When somebody gives you money and they entrusting you and they say you are a man and we need you to be a pillar of this organization, then you act as it on a regular basis. And he didn't on a regular basis.
I agree with you on that.
He's talented. Don't get me wrong. He's talented.
Right.
Top 3 wide receiver, whole 9 yards. But on a professional level, was he professional at all times? No.
Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why.
No.
I'm gonna tell you why.
And that's why he's going.
I'm gonna tell you why I give him a pass for that.
That's part of the reason.
Okay, here, Pete, we're gonna sign you for 6 years, $90 million, this much guaranteed. We want you to be a pillar organization. Okay, in the off season, that shit all well and good.
Okay.
All right, that's TA giving me the contract, right? So then we get into the season, bitch. I'm wide the fuck open, like nobody's near me, and I'm looking back and my quarterback to dunk it down 5 yards in front of you. It's only so many times I can still be professional. You want me to stand up for an organization as a standard, but you giving me this. I
get what you're saying, but are you a professional player?
The bitch still played.
Are you a professional player?
He still played.
Buddy Murman complained all the time.
Did he ever come out to the media and complain?
Odell?
Tia, did he ever come out to the media and complain about his quarterback? Did he ever throw any of his players under the bus?
Not to the media, but behind the scenes, from what I understand, there was a lot of stuff he was doing. Behind the scenes.
I got nothing. You know what I mean? Like I didn't hear nothing.
Behind the scenes.
That I remember.
Behind the scenes.
Him doing. So like I said, I'm in the middle of it.
There's a lot of stuff that happened that we don't know about, guys.
But Nikki Stees on YouTube saying they were stuck in a lose-lose situation with Odell, in his opinion. And he's right. They kept him. He caused problems. Or I'm gonna add on and lose on top of it, and not even cause problems. Just be
This wasn't.
you know what I mean? Just a guy, just like
Right.
whatever. It doesn't matter when you're losing.
Right.
You're losing.
Right.
He's not putting you over. He's not putting the Giants over the top right now.
Exactly.
So it's like let's just get
Right.
value, start over.
But again, and I hear what you're saying, Pete. I got what you're saying. But the bottom line, at the end of the day, this was a business move.
No.
This is the move that
I've never said it wasn't.
And this is the move that I think might have should have happened before. But the Eli thing, I agree with you
Exactly.
wholeheartedly. I understand. You know, he got the noodle arm, the whole 9 yards, throwing 5, 10 yards, blah, 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 blah. But you got to agree with me on the fact that when you're in that situation, you're afforded the ability to be a professional. You have to exude it on a regular basis.
So listen,
That's all I'm saying.
We'll
We
move on to the NBA.
Yeah.
I just want to say this.
Yeah, the game was fun.
I'm gonna move on to this.
Game was fun, right, TA?
I'm gonna
You guys like to have
close this Odell chapter like this.
Okay.
Gettleman and Odell both made mistakes.
Time out. You the one that used to call this man TA. I'm glad I remember.
Exactly.
TA.
I just called my own self out. I just said that.
Time out. This man used to call. Yo,
I used to call him
Be quiet,
Hodell.
Pete. Be quiet, Pete. This man used to call this man Hodell.
Yes.
Hodell.
But this is
because how he acted.
But okay. But off
So
the,
what changed?
Off the field. When he was doing that dancing shit, coming about the bubbles with DRC,
Man.
we don't do that shit. But listen, this is what I'm saying. And I'll close it down like this.
Okay.
You putting the blame isn't 50-50. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you. They had to do it for business. I agree with Nikki. They had to do it. They were in a lose-lose situation. All I'm saying is the reason why more of the blame goes to Gettleman and the Giants in the first place is because they wouldn't be in this position if they fucking drafted quarterback at number 2 last year.
But that's hindsight right now. That's
but no, you can't say it's hindsight because
hindsight.
one move led to this move.
It is what it is. This is where you are right now.
But you
it's
saying
the present.
But you sitting here saying
the present is we won 5 games.
So all right,
with the best, with one of the best wide receivers in the league, correct?
Okay, but
right?
So
Yes or no?
Do you put more of the blame on Odell being cancerous as the reason why he got traded?
It's a variation of different things. I'm not gonna put a percentage on it. It's a variation of different things. It's the fact that it was a business move. It's the fact that they were tired of some of his antics. It's the fact that they were
the business is getting ran into the fucking ground. That's
let
what
me finish. They wanted to move on. And the bottom line is he got traded. And the bottom line is the opportunity came. It was an excellent deal.
No.
They got
fuck no, it wasn't
excellent.
excellent.
It was an excellent deal from what they could get. Listen, they put that trade out there. He hears about it. He's going to go off. There's going to be more. It's going to be a problem. He might not even sign with the other team. Okay? So you strike while the iron's hot. You take the best deal that you can get right now at that time, which it was, and you take that 1 and 3, okay? You got 2 picks under 20. You take that. You got 2 3 picks. You got 2 third-round picks, okay? And you got a safety that's going to be decent in your system. And the system that they run, because they can use him like Deion Buchanan, they can use him in spots like that, just same thing, roll around, he fits. It's a good deal for them. And you move forward. Yes, your fan base is pissed, the whole 9 yards, but at the end of the day, this was a business move. Gettleman has made mistakes. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But this situation, they had to make this move, period. And we're moving on.
So I'm glad he got on blue. Because if when it comes to football, he got that blue on right now. I swear
and
he
we're moving on.
A damn Giants apology. But blue also stands for the Philadelphia 76ers, who had a big game against the Kings last night, and they did win the game. I know Vegas bettors are bad because if you took the line last night, the line was 9.5, and they won by 9.
Yo, that's crazy, yo.
So big game from Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter. He closed. Embiid is Embiid. Simmons doing his thing kind of quiet. Harris coming in, taking advantage of the mismatches that he had, especially in the open court. And the defense starting to come together, starting to gel. Big game tomorrow afternoon, I should say. National ABC game, 3:30 is the 76ers against the Milwaukee Bucks in Milwaukee. Big game, big game.
So let's go back to this Kings game. This is what I first want to say, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. This is the Jimmy Butler I want to see. That other Jimmy Butler,
no headband,
looking like Kung Fu Jack, whatever the case may be.
He called him Kung Fu Jack.
Leave him somewhere else. Give me this Jimmy Butler right now. Had 22 points last night, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 8 for 14. This is the guy I want to see. This is the guy that he's moving and grooving, and along with Embiid doing this thing, doing a double-double. Yo, Embiid right now, listen, I'm gonna say this to y'all. He's got to be in the MVP votes. If he's not in the top 3, something's wrong.
He's not.
Why wouldn't he be?
I'm just saying he's not.
He should be.
I mean, he should be.
You see, and Tia, you can comment on this. The fact, as soon as he came back, there was like a lift in the team.
Of course,
there was like a lift. You can see how the team just changed, man. But listen, Butler, I like what he's doing.
Yeah,
with Joe.
Oh, Joe's a goat.
Yeah, he's a real deal.
Yeah. Superstars come back Like guys like that, transcenders.
Right.
Guys pick it up.
And then listen, I thought about when they were chanting his name last night. I thought about something. And
Were they?
right,
I couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah, they were chanting his name.
Fucking great.
Yeah, what's up with that?
How were the seats? How were the
Wait,
seats? How were the seats?
Okay.
Yeah, tell me about that.
All
Because
right.
Jake said something about that.
Jake's talking shit. Greg, are you in the chat?
It's ready to come in hot.
G Mill, we
No, they're great seats. They're the ones all the way up, but they're still sweet. They're
Okay.
sweet. So ours was like packed, and then they finally decided to like open up the one next to it. Like they had us all jammed in the one like sardines.
What was it, like 30 people in there? 30 deep?
Yeah, it was deep, and then we had seats that we could go sit at. We decided not to.
Okay.
And I sat on like a
bar stool?
Yeah, it was bigger than that though. It was
Okay.
good size.
Okay.
And I sat on one of them and watched it from there, up there. It was great. I mean, you saw everything great.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad seats in terms of that at all. I saw everything and probably even better. I've sat everywhere in that place. I've never been that high, obviously.
Right.
Because that's high up as you can go.
Right.
But I thought it was pretty cool. It was different. Once I got seated, for a minute or two, it was like, damn, where are we going to sit? Like, like me and Ryan had seats right next to each other, but we weren't going to go sit down.
Right.
Yeah.
And leave everybody. So
Right.
It ended up working out. Like
Yeah.
put it this way, for 2.5 quarters, I would say, I watched the whole game.
Okay.
Well, listen, and that sounds great, but I want to comment. I want to go back to this. The bench. This is the only issue I have.
Right.
I'm still not seeing nothing from my bench. I mean, Mike Scott had 6 points. McConnell had 4. Bobby gave you a little something. He had 12.7 rebounds. But other than that, now, I don't understand. Maybe you guys can comment on this. What happened to Simmons? He just fell out of rotation. One thing I like about Brett Brown, it feels like he falls out of love with guys in the rotation. And 1 minute he's there. Like Simmons was doing well, Jonathan Simmons. And then the next minute he's out. Now he's back to Ennis. Like, which is it? Like, is he trying to fill something out in the rotation?
He has one eye on the present and he has one eye on the future.
Okay.
He knows when you get into the playoffs, your rotation shrinks.
Sure.
To like 7 or 8.
Right.
So he's trying to find that fit, but not only find a fit, but also find that situational fit.
Okay.
We've already seen it as we get into the fourth quarter of games. If they're close, JJ ass is off the floor.
Yeah, he's got to be.
James
He's
Ennis is in
liability.
there as far as for the defense help and crashing the boards, and because James Ennis can actually jump up and get a rebound. Every once in a while he can hit the corner 3. So you lose a little on offense as well.
But you lose a little bit of offense, James Ennis compared to Simmons, because Simmons has a little more offense than James Ennis.
But when are they ever pulling Ennis off the floor for Simmons?
Well, I mean, right now they're doing that, but before
you talking about Jonathan Simmons?
Yeah, Jonathan Simmons.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, before it was Jonathan Simmons. Like 3 or 4 games, he was doing well too.
Right.
You know, he's doing all things you need him to do. But then, boom, he went to Ennis. So I'm like, and I feel what you're saying, but like, which is it? Like, where are you going with this,
right.
Brett? And it feels like sometimes, and again, you guys know how I feel about Brett. You know, he's a nice guy, blah blah blah. But
right.
I honestly feel in the end we're going to be let down because of some of this. He just messes up in some of the coaching detail that he's supposed to exude. He doesn't. I mean,
right.
he gets out coached. And he loses the rotation. He doesn't make the proper adjustments like he should.
Right.
So hopefully I'm wrong, but I just see that coming up.
I just think when you look at Brett Brown, you already had this predetermined notion that, like, he's already had something to you. He still has something to prove. And playing the Kings on a Friday night in a meaningless, meaningless March game.
Let me say this. I'm not going to say he has something to prove. I just see the writing on the wall to where in the big games against the coaches that make a lot of adjustments, the coaches on the fly, he doesn't make. Can we agree with he doesn't make adjustments on the fly well?
But you did not. I'm not. Listen.
Is that a yes or no?
I'm not calling you out. But remember the game against Boston most recently.
Right.
He drew up a play. Redick had an open look.
Okay.
You came and you said the same thing about. But I'm like, at what point do you want to? He created the play to give JJ an open look.
I understand.
So the players have to execute at a certain time.
I get that.
Okay.
But what about there's times that he just gets out coached? Can we agree with that?
If it's Brad Stevens, and Brad Stevens one of the best coaches in the league.
Brad Stevens, the coach nurse from Toronto, he got out coached. Budenholzer. I mean, I can just those 3. It's like he has problems against them. He can't figure it out.
So, but okay, at that point, do we really think Brett Brown's one of the top 5 coaches in the league?
No.
Okay, so what do you expect?
But I expect you to make adjustments still. Even though
I
expect you to make adjustments in key situations,
right?
To put those guys in better places. And yes, the players got to play, and they have to make better adjustments. They have to make better decisions, which I've been on the record saying that Embiid throwing a three-pointer when you're down by 4 points with 2 minutes left in the game.
Well, that's Embiid. But
that's just an example. It's more than that.
Shooter's going to shoot.
But my thing is, you got to say, listen, Embiid, this is not the time for you to do that. That's when you coach players up. and he doesn't do it.
So telling him that not to shoot that shot, and you gotta, how's that coach? No, I'm just saying
It's coaching pedigree, man. It's coaching pedigree, and it's either you have it or you don't. And honestly, I just feel to some degree he doesn't have it.
No, I mean I get what you're saying at the same time,
right?
But and then like Pootie Tank said in YouTube chat, thank you, Pootie. Want to wish Joel Embiid a happy 25th birthday.
Yes, sir.
Man's only 25 years old. But what I'm saying to you is, okay, let's just think about what you said. You expect Brett Brown to make these adjustments, okay?
Oh, we got some comments from Jesse. Go ahead.
We expect Brett Brown to make these adjustments, right? But we don't look at Brett Brown as a top 5 coach in the league. So even if he makes these adjustments, he's still unsuccessful. We're like, you asking him to do something when you don't view him as that. Now, my biggest question is, if he's not a top 5 coach in the league, why does Elton Brand and them not go get a top 5 coach in the league?
Because it's their guy. And considering –
Okay,
let me finish.
Go ahead.
Consider that he was there in hell for 4 years. And considering they see
right.
Now, let me say this. I'm not saying he's not a bum.
Okay.
I'm not saying Brett Brown's a bum. Okay, let's just say that. But I'm just saying to you that in the big games, he's not going to come through. I'm just keeping it real with you guys.
Okay. So
you know what I'm saying? And them not making a move, they're slow on their feet. Why didn't they make through? They're not going to make it. They're going to wait at least. Okay. Let's just say, let's take an argument. We win the first series, we lose the second series, but then the following year, let's say for some crazy reason, we lose the first series. Then they'll probably make the move, something like that. But they're gonna switch. They're gonna stay with him because these players are growing with them. You know, these players actually did grow. He did groom them to some degree. So they're not gonna make that move right away. Okay. Let me go to comments real quick. Jesse, I guess Jesse trying to come from me. Brad is 20 and 23 in playoffs. Stop saying he's a great coach. Also, the Celtics are unachieving this year. No one's saying that Brad Stevens is the greatest coach in the world. We're not saying that. We're just saying when he goes against Brett Brown, Brett Stevens takes him lunch, period. That's what we're saying, Jesse. Okay? And by the way, your Virginia Cavaliers lost last night. How about that? Go ahead, Peter.
So you do this. You did it. You just did this again. So I'm going to point out what you said.
You ain't got to point nothing out.
So you said Brett Brown, you don't want you upset that he don't make adjustments. And I asked you.
Hopefully he makes. Hopefully it changes, man.
So let me just plan this. I'm going based off of what you said.
Go ahead.
You said Brett Brown doesn't make adjustments. You want to see him make adjustments. I just asked you if Brett Brown's a top 5 coach in the league. You said no. So furthermore, you said so. My question to you was, why is he the coach of the Sixers? And then you just said, okay, that he was suffering here for 4 years, and this is Elton Brand and the brass saying that he's their guy. So at that point, you cannot fucking complain about Brett Brown because he's not garnering his employment. He's not overall because Elton Brand, Josh Harris, they're allowing him to do it. So if you know that.
Listen, first of all, we're in a spot where we can do whatever we want because we're in the media, so we can complain.
But
I hear what you're saying.
But you contradicting your own argument.
No, I'm not contradicting. I'm just giving a point. I'm giving you a point. That's what we do. We're supposed to give a point on a situation. And I'm saying that I see this coming, the writing on the wall. And then fast forward a year and a half from now, probably less than that, the family's going to be complaining about him, saying get rid of him. I see it. I see it coming. And that's what it is. We're gonna ride with it. We're gonna ride with it. He's gonna coach.
Right.
Listen, I hope I'm wrong. Listen, I hope Brett Brown wins the championship. I want him to be successful. He's a good guy.
Right.
But I just see the writing on the wall. I just see the fact that in certain games he's not gonna be able to lift our guys to where they need to be. He's not gonna put the guys in the right situation. Okay. What's that?
Breaking news?
No, it's about to be 2 straight years of 50-plus wins with 2 different rosters.
Oh, you fuck me because you did that.
I
go the opposite way.
Well,
yeah, I read left to right.
I had a long day. I don't know which way I read
today. Does he have
today.
2 top 20 players? Right? 2 top 15 players? Correct? Yes?
He has. I know he has a certified top 10 player.
I know he is a certified top 5.
He has a top.
Well,
yes.
yeah, top 5.
He's got 2 of the top 20 players. All right, correct?
I don't know if he could put Simmons
Let's just
there.
say 25. Let's just say 25.
25, yeah.
All right, he's got 2 of the top.
25.
And he's got Simmons is basically averaging the triple-double, correct? There's only a couple people doing that in the league, right?
Him, Russ.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, and
close to it, correct?
And if Jimmy plays like he did last night.
If Jimmy gives what he gives you, he's got a nice roster. And then Toby doing his thing. I mean,
but it's new, though. It's new, and I think that's what everybody forgets in this city, and I get it. We're in a rush for things. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. We're in a rush for stuff. We're in a rush for championships. We're in a rush for Broad Street, and the Eagles did that to us, and I get it. You know what I mean?
So
I completely get it, but I think I think we got to give this guy this roster and a little bit of time. I'm not saying he's the right guy for it, but you're about to win 50 games in a row,
so
back-to-back years, and it's hard to change from the culture of losing, which is what this culture was in what he had to endure.
Yeah.
So as you
and that's what I mean by the fact that he endured hell. That's what it was. It was hell, dog. He knew every game he's gonna lose. What did he say? Postpartum. Somebody said he said postpartum. It's I get the guys ready for postpartum. Somebody said my mind is he knew every game what the outcome was going to be. Can you imagine being in that situation where your team's gonna get slaughtered every time?
Right.
So I get that, and he's a great guy. I love the guy, but I'm just saying what I just see. I can foresee it, and again, I could be wrong, and I hope I am. I hope he does his thing. I hope they win a championship on 9 yards. But I see within a year and a half, 2 years tops, people are going to be saying, all right, it's time to move. It's time to move on. Because obviously –
there's people saying that now, though.
No, but it's going to be an outrage. It's going to be an outcry. And within the next 2 years saying that, this dude, he just can't get us to where we need. Let's just make that move. All right.
So, and I get – and now
so I'm going to say.
You and Tom kind of both said the same thing, but Tom didn't give it – TA didn't give it the end result in the way he sees it going. We all say we're not sure if he's the right guy.
I know he's not.
Excuse me, fam.
I'm saying it.
But see, that's what I'm saying. You saying he's not.
He's not.
He's not. Okay. So
that's my opinion.
Okay, I understand that. But at that point, don't fault the man who's doing the job. Fault the people who employ him to do the job.
Listen.
But you get what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but I mean, I have the ability where if I want to say something,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Critique his work, I can critique his work. That's it. Period.
But it's hard to critique somebody's work when you already think that they can't do it, and when you're in the present, because you could always come in and say, "I knew this was going to happen. I didn't believe him in the first place." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I
get what you're saying.
Okay. So to finish it all up and to put it in the bow.
Okay, I like that, the bow.
Last night was a game where I thought I saw something completely different, where they've lost that game this year.
True. I'll give you that.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I texted T and said, "Yo, they trying to get this game away."
That's the games that get. That's the games that get behind him. You're like, "Yo, they just had to lead by 10.
Right.
What happened?"
Shit, that game happened in Chicago.
Yeah, that was one.
You see what I'm saying?
The other night, Pete, they can't close an automatic door.
Right.
No,
you know what I mean? That door closed for you, and they can't figure out a shot.
No,
but that's when the Butlers of the world have to step up, and I need to see it on a consistent basis. And to me, I feel like at times, and he's saying the right things. He's saying he wants to win. He doesn't care if he scores 30 points, blah 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 blah. But to me, and this is just me looking on the outside. And this is what I mean. Listen, I look at a lot of these players, and I read what they're doing. I read how they're reacting. To me, it feels at times he's not here.
Right.
Okay? He's physically here, but he's not mentally here. Is he thinking about next year? And sometimes I feel like that when I look at Jimmy Butler. Now, the Butler I saw last night, that's the guy
I think that's the Butler you're going to see, because I think he had those. I think he had those lapses of judgment and those lapses of focus, because he knows this is crunch time now. Like, yeah. I want to see him tomorrow. If he checks out tomorrow, then I may agree with you. I may say, okay, it doesn't look good. But this is my thing. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Butler knows in his heart of hearts, no fucking team is about to give him a max deal.
Nah, he's going to probably he's living at 3 years, $100 million right now.
And this is
that's what he's living at.
And this is my thing right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. You tell me any team that can pay him close to what we can pay him that has this situation for him, where he could be the fucking fourth option.
Yep.
What team in the league is better for him than this team?
Nowhere. I mean, it makes totally sense. I mean, you figure if he goes to Clippers, he's going to have to be the 1 or 2 guy. You know what I mean? But this actual situation right here is perfect, because he's playing with 2 of the top 25 players in the league. He doesn't have to be the guy that scores 30 points a game.
Right.
He can fulfill a role. He can show that IQ, the high IQ, basketball IQ that he has, and just do his thing. And he's winning. So I think this is perfect for him. But honestly, I just feel like at times he's not here. Now, after yesterday, if I continue to see this, and Sunday if he does the same thing, then I think we're going to be all right. I think we got something cooking.
Right.
You know what I mean? So my man James Wilder says, if we don't win in 2 years, then yes, for sure we will see he's not the right guy. I would say he has at least a 2-year lease from today.
I don't even – now, I will say this. You haven't – I'm a proponent of Brett Brown.
Okay.
I like what I've seen so far.
With him? Okay.
Because I've seen – like I stated, this goes back as early as last night, for example. They've lost that game this year.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I like the growth that we're seeing. But I will disagree with you both and say, listen, it's not a 2-year lease. Like, this dude has to get this team to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, because Elton Brand went in. You have no more assets left. He overpaid for Tobias Harris. I love Tobias Harris. Yeah. He overpaid for Tobias Harris.
If this year they get to the second round, he's staying. If they lose first round, it's possible he's going. but I think they go in the second round, at least second round. The following year, like I said, an example, if they go in that first round and they lose, he's gone.
Now listen, I will tell you this.
He's gone, bro.
I would be the first one to tell you this. If they finish with the three seed, and Brooklyn finishes with the 6 seed,
right?
That's not an easy out. Like
no, that's tough, bro. Because Brooklyn, Coach Atkinson, he's got them boys playing, man.
And the strength of their team is our weakness.
Yeah, the guard play.
D'Lo,
yes,
and Dunwoody.
Yes.
That's a problem.
Crab coming off that screen, they're a problem, man.
That's a problem for the Sixers.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough test.
Now, one of their weaknesses is they're horrible down low. So and you got to go heavy and beat.
Yeah, of course.
And B's got to average at least 28 points a game. So being that they're weak on the low, with their bigs, if we do a thing down there, then we'll be okay.
Right. I don't know if there's an outside shot. I think they're 3 games behind the 2 seed in Toronto.
I think. I'm looking up right now.
I think they're. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're 3 games behind Toronto. But I would much rather love the Sixers to catch the Pistons in the first round. Other than the Nets.
That's not a tough out either, man.
It's not a tough out, but who do they have? All right, I could deal with Blake. Right? But the guard plays nowhere near as good as
No, I give you that.
And
I'll give you that.
They got Andre Drummond, and Embiid owns.
Yeah, he does.
Drummond is Embiid's bitch pretty much every time he steps on the court. So he gets in his head all the time.
So Detroit is 6 right now. Brooklyn 7. Miami's creeping up.
Detroit is 6.
Yeah, Detroit's 6.
Okay, well then let that stand. Let that stand. Then.
And then Miami is at 8. Miami's at 30. They got 36 losses right now, so they're 3 games out of the 6th spot.
How many games ahead of Detroit? How many games ahead of Brooklyn is Detroit?
1 game.
See, I need a nice little cushion. Cushion.
1 game.
Get a nice little cushion. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
And listen.
And we're 5 games out of
first.
No, we're 8 games out of first, and we're 5 games from the 2nd spot.
5?
Yeah, so it's gonna be hard to get that.
No, that second spot is over. So you can kind of, and then if I'm not mistaken, we're only a half game or a game up over Indiana for the 3rd seed because Indiana didn't play last night.
We're actually tied right now.
Did Indiana play today? They must have had a game earlier today.
But we're both 44 and 25.
Yeah, they must have had a game earlier today.
Yeah, because I think last night we were half a game.
Right, because they didn't play until today.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think they played. Somehow, we were half. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
they played last night. They beat the Thunder.
I think so far tonight's show, as we about to get up out of here, was the most passionate we've ever been on the A2D platform because I vehemently disagree with you.
Yeah, it's crazy because
several topics.
This is the same dude that was calling this man Hodel.
That has nothing.
Oh, have the tides have turned, Peter Washington.
No. Hodel. When I said my Hodel statement, I'm talking. I'll say this again. When I said my Hodel statement, it's about what he did on the field. I've never questioned his passion. In the locker room or on the field. Never. His suspect ass was the shit he did off the field.
All right, before we go to You Got to Go, what was a trade in your mind that scratched your head? Just off the cuff. Give me one trade that you said, what?
Or as far as
free agency, for NFL.
Positive or negative?
Just, I guess, negative or just positive. I mean, you said, what was that all about? Me? The Tannehill thing. I'm scratching my head. I don't know about you, T.A.
It makes a ton of sense.
Maybe because he gets hurt all the time. Mariota gets hurt.
Right.
But what message are you sending to your young quarterback by bringing Tannehill in?
Bitch, get it together. What message let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. It's a very similar situation to what Nick Foles had with Carson Wentz. Your backup wins a Super Bowl, and yet he's still on the team, and you come back from injury. Bitch, that's
that point out. Yeah.
That's the brass telling you, bitch, shape up.
He's got to toughen up. But I'm just saying, you're bringing Tannehill in.
Right.
Man, that's just
it means the leash is short. Get your shit together. That's what it means.
Pretty much.
Because listen, this is 5th-year option.
It's puzzling because I'm like, man, isn't that your franchise quarterback? Isn't this a guy you saying is your guy, and then you make the move, bring Tannehill in? Now, listen, Tannehill got hurt the last couple of years, so I mean, where are you going with him? I mean, is he going to give you that longevity for on a short-term basis?
Right.
But like you said, I mean, the writing's on the wall. Listen, man, if you don't get together, it's a wrap for you. So that was kind of puzzling to me. Other than that, I mean, there's a lot of moves made. Tyrod Taylor, I didn't even notice Tyrod's on the Chargers now. I mean, there's a lot of moves that happened that said, oh, Max Unger actually retired. So a couple things that happened. It was interesting.
So, I mean, a trade to me that made me scratch my head. Any sport.
We're just going NFL. We're just going NFL. NFL.
Oh, I got a perfect one for you.
Okay.
The Max Unger Jeremy. What the fuck is his name? And not even in the league anymore.
Oh man, what's the kid? Dang, what's the Tyler's name? I know you're talking about. Jimmy Graham. Yes.
Jimmy Graham. The Max Unger.
A couple years ago. I got you. A couple years ago.
Because
he hasn't been the same.
Right, but that's my problem.
He hasn't been the same.
Russell Wilson didn't need Jimmy Graham to go to back-to-back Super Bowls because that defense was like that in the offensive line. See, that's where the Seattle's brass, and you just don't understand. You trying to chase points and get more points offense-wise, but you don't realize that, your quarterback needs that stability in the offensive line. And what happened as soon as who got better the next year? The Saints.
Yeah.
But Seattle just now got right with their offensive line.
Just got right.
Now, before we go to YGTG, I see Todd Womack in the YouTube chat. He did address a particular rumor, and I see TA already commented on it.
Okay.
And there's supposedly Matt Breida, potential interest from the Eagles to trade for Matt Breida, the backup in San Francisco. And like TA said, he's just a guy. To me, out of that team, if I'm getting a running back and I'm trading for it, I'd rather trade for Jerick McKinnon. That's me personally.
Low risk, high reward. That makes sense. Yeah.
But I don't like his contract. He would have to rework his contract. I think he got a nice little contract.
I think you go Duke Jackson or Duke Johnson rather. You look at Duke Johnson.
But I don't know if Duke Johnson become available.
I mean,
you look at
it's out there. It's out there that they're actually trading for him. They're fielding offers for him. I mean, I don't know if Howie actually has made that phone call to John Dorsey, but that's something that, I mean, Johnson makes so much sense on so many different levels, man. He fulfills your third down back. And what you say, okay, well, what about Corey Clement? Right. You still have Corey Clement. But you got Duke Johnson now.
No, but McKinnon, I've seen him run in between the tackles and catch the ball out the back.
Oh, he checks the box, but that number ain't right.
But that's what I'm saying. He had to do a little restructuring. And we'll come in next week when we look, and maybe that's a possibility. Maybe something happens when it comes to the running back position for the Eagles by this time next week, and we should be back to the regular Friday night 8. But it doesn't matter really if TA says, "Look, man, I need you guys to do a show this time." I'm here.
We're flexible, man.
I'm here for y'all. We're
flexible.
I'm here to argue with this dude, and I know he gives it right back to me.
Hey, man, that's what we do, man.
That's what we do. That's why we here. Man. We agree to disagree.
Yes, sir.
Nope. Well, fuck
I like that.
Pun intended. Real shit. But the pun was intended. So, listen, man, it's a big week coming up. Big game tomorrow. More NFL free agency. This is now that second wave.
Yeah.
And listen, man. My YGTG this week is it's the Giants fan base. Not so much for the things that happen, but good fucking luck with Golden Tate. My man did on Twitter. He played both roles in Jerry Maguire. This is who you got. This is now your number one wide receiver. And I would love to see Sterling Shepard and Eagles green. I've been a Sterling Shepard fan coming out of the slot since his days at OU. And listen, I love Nelly too, but Sterling Shepard is a different animal in the slot, man.
I like Nelly, man. Give me Nelly any day. Sterling Shepard's good. Don't get me wrong. He's
athletic as far as explosiveness.
Give me
Nelly all day.
Give me Nelly. He knows Carson. They've been together 3 years now, 4 years. Give me Nelly all day. But yeah, I agree with you. Giants fans, I'm telling you, I had to talk a couple Giants fans off the bridge, bro. Yeah. To Ben Franklin, they just get ready to jump.
Right now,
all right,
we can even take the YGTG further and stay in the same area and just to say, fuck the Giants fan base. We can say New York sports teams.
James Dolan. Yo, I don't. Yo, what? I mean, as you know, he had a fan that actually came to him and while the game was going on, he said, "Sell the team." And James Dolan, who had issues with Charles Oakley, okay, a year ago. You throw out Charles Oakley, the guy that bled on the floor for you. He was a heart and soul of your team. So not only did he throw out Charles Oakley, he threw out a fan because the fan said sell the team. James Dolan is the biggest crybaby in sports, period. And yes, he can't sell. He's not going to sell the team because he's a greedy SOB. But the bottom line is, man, these fans are paying. They're paying. They're hard on people working to pay and see your product. Your product's not good right now. Let's keep it up. Now, granted, you're about to get Zion Williamson, who plays for a fine establishment, who won last night. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, the Duke Blue Devils last night won the game against UNC.
Listen.
Okay, how about that? And Ralphie D, I saw you with that slide comment saying we're going to lose tonight. We're not going to lose. We're going to win tonight.
Who they play? Florida State, right?
Yeah, we're going to win tonight. Okay, we're going to win by 5.
That's all well and good. Y'all ain't cutting down on nets in March. That's all I know.
All right, so I owe you a sandwich. I gotta deliver that within the next.
You know
week
that.
Or two.
Don't breeze past my comment.
To do that.
Don't breeze past my comment.
Which one?
Heard, I said they not cutting down no nets.
Well, you let me finish.
As long
you
as
didn't let me finish my statement.
As long as they got R.J. Barrett,
so do you want to go?
AKA James Harden Jr.
Do you want to triple it? Do you want to triple it?
No.
You don't want to triple it?
No.
Double or nothing.
Smart. You
triple
already
or nothing.
owe me. I'm not doubling nothing.
It's triple or nothing.
No.
We're not gonna triple it.
We could do a 3-for-1.
3 for 1. What? What do you mean?
3 for 1. That means if you win,
Okay,
you just get me 1. If I win,
you get 3.
I get 3.
I would do that.
All right.
All right.
So now that means I gotta wait a whole nother damn month for a salmon.
No, you're not. So anyway,
you see this body? I like to eat, man.
you got to go. Part 3 actually goes to Jose Canseco real quick. Jose Canseco, man, I don't know what to say about this guy. I mean, he's the ultimate. You know, there's a saying in the hood that snitches get stitches. I mean, he would be chipped up, you know, if he was in the hood. But the fact that he's actually going to come out against Alex Rodriguez, who Alex Rodriguez is
Right.
about to marry a fine young lady, and Jennifer
I don't know
Lopez.
about young. I don't know about young.
She's still 50-year fine. She looks like her body's like a 26-year-old, bro. You can't hate on that.
Listen, be honest with you. Listen, I know another lady that's plus side of 50 that I'd rather have than J-Lo.
Who's that?
That's damn Halle Berry. Give me Halle Berry. Give me Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Give me Salma Hayek. You give me
Salma Hayek's bad too. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna bet.
Give me oh man.
Who else?
What is her name?
What's the one? Charlotte Theron's around there, right?
Nah.
She
She ain't got no body. She ain't got no body.
Yeah, she ain't got no courage.
The chick from
Who's
dang.
All right, we got to move forward.
Oh, Megan Good.
All right, yeah,
I couldn't think.
but she's young. She's young. But anyway,
she ain't as young as you think.
She's like 36.
Dog, she was in the 21 Questions 50 Cent video when she was like 22. That was like 15, almost.
You know, Tia, you know what we talking about?
Megan Good.
Megan Good. Yeah. All right. So Tia said, I'll plead the fifth. So anyway, Jose Canseco, I don't know if you guys knew, but he came out and said that basically so many words that Alex Rodriguez is basically cheating on Jennifer Lopez. I'm just going to sum it up.
Right.
And there's a code. And I guess he doesn't understand code on many levels, man. Like you just can't say
he's
that.
He's a sperm man.
He's just a sperm man. He's butthurt. Ain't no way to say it, man. Like you got to go, man. You're doing too much. Like why would you do that?
Because he wanted the reaction that his name wasn't in the limelight. He called out A-Rod, who's now engaged to J-Lo. For whatever reason, I don't know why, A-Rod. You like your money? Don't do it. She may be worth more.
She got money.
That's why my whole point. You don't need to marry the broad.
Listen, and I said this to this man off camera.
You don't.
I said,
man.
Family, listen. I said this guy because he just divulged. He plays too much. He says, I said, yo, if J-Lo came to you right now and said to you, Peter, I want you to marry me. People like, okay.
No.
He be like, all right. I'll put a ring on it.
What would you do? What would you do?
I'll put a ring on that thing. Cutie pie. Mm-mm. You know what I mean?
Bro, when I got that much.
TA, if he wasn't married, I mean, you know, we're all married. We're just hypothetical, ladies.
No,
hypothetical. We're not saying. You said what? Hypothetical. I don't want nobody.
If I wasn't married, I'd be putting a ring on a lot of things. You know what I mean?
But
I'd be like an MLB player, like, hey, Rod, you know what I mean? I'd be traveling.
Be like
I'd be like Pat Barrow's cousin. Just like.
But listen, man. I'll tell you straight up. I've told my wife this. I said, babe, if something happened, we don't work out, we get divorced, you ain't never got to worry about me getting remarried again. Ever. I've told my kids, I don't care how bad she is, bro. I'm not doing it. I can't put that much time, energy, and effort into it again.
Yeah,
and these celebrities can do it because they live their life in the public. So they marriage on some real shit. They marriage ain't like what we deal with.
And I feel you because I've actually said that where I was one and done. But listen, you can get a J-Lo or something like that out there, bro. You be like, yeah. What you want me to do, girl? I got you.
No, because you know why?
Yeah.
Because now A-Rod, every girl that if heaven forbid if it don't work out, now that they know you've been with J-Lo, every girl that steps to you gonna outdo J-Lo. They gonna try to outdo J-Lo. You see what I'm saying? You know how hard it is? You know how high that bar is set? So that means I'm getting Valentine's Day every night. Every night. I'm not putting man. I can't.
Shout out to my man BT, Ben Turok. He's in the chat. He said a couple things. He said, watch it, E. Now you're banned from the Garden. I'm not worried about the Garden, man. Listen, man, the bottom line is Dolan's got to rise up, man. He's got issues, man. But the bottom line is he's about to get a hell of a player next year.
Right.
At number one is Zion Williamson, and then a couple other players as well. So, we'll see.
But listen, man, on that note, it's been fun.
Yes,
it was different on Saturday night. I actually ended up defending somebody really hard.
Who you trashed in the past.
I trashed this off the field, but I take him down I-95, and I had Carson Wentz. I would trade out. Listen, I'll leave y'all with this. I would trade Alshon, Deshaun, and Nelson for Odell Beckham. That's how much I believe in that.
I'm good.
All right?
I'm good.
With that note, I'm Pete.
Yes, sir.
That's E. This is Philly Sports Guys on A2D.
Oh.
Make sure you check out all the shows tomorrow.
Right.
I know we got my man. What is it tomorrow, Tom? 10:30 in the morning, AM and PM? That's not AM. Agree to disagree.
Yeah. 9 p.m. Okay.
9 p.m. Agree to disagree. And then Monday night, I think we got Hooligans. Is that correct?
Okay.
Sports Towns, one of them. Sports Towns.
Every day.
Listen, man, and listen. And with that, don't think that just because we got a stat lineup now that y'all can't get in. Come on, man. If you got that there, you want to talk, you want to use this as a mouthpiece, you got some things to say, and you ain't hear it on the radio, you ain't hear it on A2D.
Yes, sir.
Hey, there's more room for everybody, man.
Right, before we go.
Come join the fam.
Before we go, big fight tonight. Errol Spencer's
fighting.
Mikey Garcia.
Yep.
Big one. And then also USC's got a big fight, so check them out as well, guys.
Yeah, Errol Spence going to knock his ass out.
Yes, sir. I give it 4th round.
Namaste.
Holla.